Hey y'all, it's Sam the Midwest Handyman. No face for you today. I am going to probably do a couple part series here. We're starting backwards. I have these concrete statues that are already finished, set, cured. I went ahead and wet them down a little bit. You can see it's a little bit darker there. I probably could have soaked it a little bit longer, but these ones have been cured for a while, so they're not going to quite absorb as much. But I have some latex-based paint, and I mixed a tiny bit of water with it. I don't want to tip it too much. The first upgrade we're going to get is a tripod, guys. But I wet my stone, and I mixed a brown and a dark gray, and we're just going to do a nice slappy base coat. The reason that you actually do want to wet your stone when you paint it and add a little bit of water to your paint is because concrete is a porous material and it will somewhat absorb a little bit of the paint there. So you don't want to put it on really thick. Honestly, I probably could have watered this paint down a little bit more. But I will go ahead and do a base coat on this guy and let it dry. Typically, when you paint a concrete stone, you don't want to paint the back if it's a stone that sits on the ground, like a stepping stone, or if it was more of a vertical statue, which we'll get into later. I only have a couple of the statues because the molds are typically latex, and then the good ones have a backing, and so they cost about 3 times as much. So anyways, with those, typically a statue that stands upwards, you would leave the bottom back of the stone unpainted, because the stone is porous and it actually breathes and takes in moisture, and you want it to be able to, I don't know if it expands, but that is how I was taught to do it. So we will go ahead and finish this base coat, and I'm going to go ahead and coat up these other couple pieces here, and then we'll really get to the fun part of dry brushing, and that's when you really feel really Bob Ross about it, and all the great detail in your stone comes out. I order most of my stones off eBay. I do have a new stone. It was a gift, a couple molds, stone molds, that were from the Ukraine. So I will maybe do a special debut on them. We're not taking any sides in the war. A little disappointed in you right now, Mr. Putin. But anywho, nonetheless, everyone needs to eat, no matter who your government is fighting. Both sides need to eat. So I will probably do a special video maybe for those Ukraine-made concrete stones. Because for one, they're very cool. They're a mushroom and a koi fish. So anyways, these ones were made in the U.S. By Go Molds, I believe. On eBay is where I find them. That's it. We will see you in the next video. And if I can figure out how to link them together or recruit my 9-year-old to help me, we sure will. Hey y'all, it's Sam the Midwest Handyman. I'm trying to wrap up some paint stuff today. So this is just going to be a quickie. I know I promised to come back and show you my dry brush on the concrete stones. I did get a tripod. So we're working that out. So real quick here, piece of cardboard or this is like a paper package. I've got some white latex base paint This is flat. I would not use a gloss. You could use a satin and you'd probably still be okay. Oops. Okay, so what you actually want to do is get some paint on your brush. And then you want to wipe as much of that paint off as you can. We can always put more on. We can't take any off. So let's see what we get here. So you're just flicking it back and forth, and then it goes ahead and picks up on the ridges and really brings out all that detail. I'm not an expert at pouring concrete stones. I've had them for a few years, but I have moved so freaking much. I don't always get to get my stones out, so I've bombed again this year and did not get a mass production of gravestones. But you know what? We started the videos and we started the channel, and I'm feeling like it could only be up from here. So that's just a quick, just kind of a quickie on it. We'll do the other one. Again, get some paint. Oops, my off camera. Get some paint. And you want to be careful. It's more that part of your paintbrush that ends up having too much paint on it and catches and doesn't look too good on the piece. So again, I'm going to get as much of it off where it almost seems like that brush really looks dry. Where you can tell I'm not used to filming stuff. What I like to do, or a good way to practice is, you know, when you're first getting into it, you'll probably have some pieces that break or come out flawed. And so those are always the ones that I practice on. Or maybe you have a piece of porcelain that's broke or something else that you want to redo. You would really use the same technique. I have a lamp that I spray painted that we're going to do. I don't know how it's going to work. I did use like one of those glossy metal faux metal looking spray paints. And then I'm going to try to go in with the red paint. So I don't know if it's going to be a disaster or not. I guess we'll find out. But so as you can see, it's actually pretty fun. Like all the detail pops out. And it's really that simple. Anybody can do it. I think people always think when I say I make concrete statues that I am like chiseling statues. I wish I was that talented. I'm not. I just pour them in the concrete mold. It does all the work for me. And then I pop it out and paint them. And, you know, it takes a little bit of mastery with getting your concrete mix right. And some stones need wire. I've had a lot of problems with that I need to add some wire in them to keep them from breaking. But there you are. Pretty simple. Hopefully this won't be all upside down. I'll have to figure that out. But you know what, guys? I think we can do better than that. The more I look at it, the more I was thinking, you know, it didn't really look realistic. And I think, like I said, we can always put more on. We can't take any off. I think I hear a minion approaching. Caca! What do you think? Does that look a little more realistic? Probably could go even more white. You know what? You can always put more on. Like I said, guys, I'm just learning how to do these, so I was practicing with some smaller ones, and I think they look much better, more white. Definitely more realistic than it's like the, they look aged instead of just dark. Not very level in the back. I think this one I was probably getting to the end of my batch. You got to pour them quick. And if you have a mold that's difficult, this one wasn't. It was probably the one right before it. And so, or I don't have enough mold set up when I'm doing it, like prepped and sprayed and ready. Because, you know, I'm just guesstimating how many I'm going to be able to pour with whatever I mixed up. So sometimes I'll grab one at the end and then try to spray it real quick, and it might be like the very end of the batch. So I'm assuming that's what happened to this one. That's what I'm going to blame it on anyways. Because see, this one's actually flat on the back. This one. That one was a concrete fail, my friends. So, like I said, if it looks like that on the back, I'm going to give myself credit that it was probably the last one in the batch. I think that's much better. Much better. I think I even could have gone heavier. Should we do it? Just try not to make the videos super long. Oh, My bad. Guess if we put too much on, then it'll be a learn from my mistake video. That's why I say practice on junk or practice on a broken one. So like, no, would we sell that one? No, I probably wouldn't sell it like that, but I'd put it in my own yard or give it to one of my friends. Not that I wouldn't give my friends the nice ones. I'm just saying that, you know, in the grand big scheme of things. Flawed ones are free, or you can pay full price like everyone else. I'm just kidding. Hey. See, a little bit too white down there, didn't I? It might lighten up a bit when it dries. That probably wasn't a good spot to lay on so heavy. All right, much better. Thought we could do a little better, guys. I know I sounded kind of drab, but it's actually like, whoo, super cold today. The winter wind is here, and actually I think the rain is a little more like flurries. So I guess we're officially feeling the time change and the eclipse. All right, hope that helps.